I'm back. So, we have finally made it to our last unit of the year, The Diary of a Young Girl, also known as The Diary of Anne Frank. Unfortunately, we have to do this virtually, and I'm still trying to figure out the best way to do it. This is the book that we're using, so if any of you happen to have this at home, awesome. Um, those of you who questioned if we should check them out and take them home before spring break, and I was like, oh no, we'll be fine. You were right. I messed up. So, I think what we're going to do is I'll probably do read alouds. Um, maybe have to get a different version if I can get an ebook somehow and get you guys like a PDF or a screenshot. We'll make it work. So, I also had made, because I know how much you guys loved the Jekyll and Hyde flip book, this thing, but we don't get to use it. So I have kind of turned the information from this flip book into this slideshow. So I know you're super upset that you don't get another flip book to keep track of, but the good news is I'm finding ways to put it on here virtually. So we'll figure it out as we go. I think I'll probably have to skip a lot of parts just for the sake of time, and I know you guys don't want to listen to me read really long chapters, and you don't want to read a bunch of really long chapters, so we're not actually reading every diary entry that's in here. So those of you looking at this right now and panicking that it looks really big, we're going to be skipping quite a bit of it. So, Anne Frank, here we go. Alright, so as we talked about earlier, this is also known as the Diary of Anne Frank. There are a ton of different versions out there. A lot of them have stuff taken out. A lot of them are completely unedited. I think the ones that you can get online for free are the ones that are the complete version with nothing taken out of it. So if you're up to reading the entire thing, you can. Anyway, this is the book of writings from the Dutch language diary kept by Anne Frank while she was in hiding for 2 years with her family during the Nazi occupation of the Netherlands. So it was originally written in the Dutch language. There are still some Dutch words that are in this version that I will probably butcher when we do read alouds. Try not to judge me. I'm already judging myself. So here's what it would have actually looked like before typing it out and translating it. The family was apprehended in 1944, and Anne Frank died of typhus in the Bergen-Belsen concentration camp. So this is Anne before she went into hiding, and then this is the concentration camp that she later died in. The diary was saved and returned to Otto Frank, which is her father, who was the family's only known survivor. The diary has since been published in more than 60 different languages. Pretty popular. Speaking of popularity, it was first published in Amsterdam in 1947, and it received widespread critical and popular attention. It inspired the 1955 play The Diary of Anne, which was then adapted for the screen for the 1959 movie version. I haven't seen these, but based on the screen caps that I've seen of them, they are way more dramatic than what it actually was. As you can see in this movie cover, it looks like some kind of romance, and it's not at all in the book. So, there are relationships that they talk about, but nothing this extreme. There is also a play, I think that was made in 2009, that's got some pretty big actors on it. And I think that one is actually pretty accurate to what happens in the story. So if you're interested and you can find that play, it's a good one to watch. Anyway, the book is included in several lists of the top books of the 20th century. The story. During the Nazi occupation of the Netherlands, Anne Frank received a blank diary as one of her presents on her 13th birthday, which was in 1942. 2 days later, Anne's sister Margot received an official summons to report to a Nazi work camp in Germany. Then Anne went into hiding with her father, mother, and sister. Their hiding place was in the sealed-off upper rooms of the annex, which is a building joined to the main building. It was at the back of her father's company building in Amsterdam, so basically in a hidden building. And I know some of you are looking at her sister's name, Margot. I have scoured the internet on how to pronounce it correctly. Half of the internet says it's Margot, half of the internet says it's Margit. I don't really know, so I'm going to say Margot because that's how my English teacher pronounced it. If you find something that is very obviously confirming one way or the other, let me know. So here is where it took place. This is the Netherlands, also known as Holland, right here. You can see Germany is right over here, and Belgium is right here. Here is Amsterdam, where it was first published. The rooms were concealed behind a movable bookcase. In the original published version of the book, the names were changed of the people who went into hiding with Anne's family, for privacy reasons. With the assistance of a group of Otto Franks, remember that's Anne's father, trusted colleagues, they remained hidden for 2 years and 1 month. So if you think being quarantined in your house with internet and food is bad, imagine having to hide in a nasty building that's really small for 2 years with a ton of other people. So here are the themes to keep an eye out for. If you're not writing these down, make sure you go back to this to remember it, because we're going to be going back to them a lot when we're reading it and talking about it. So 1, very obviously, the evil that is in the world. She's going to be questioning leaders a lot and how they are evil and why there's evil in the world. Pain, meaning human growth involves pain. She doesn't mean like physically being in pain, like ouch, I stubbed my toe. She means emotionally in pain. Loneliness and sharing. So even though she's in hiding with her family and another family and one other person, she still goes through times where she feels super alone. So she's going to talk about everyone needing someone to share life's experiences with. And then coming of age or growing up. She's writing this, I think she's 13 when she's done. She's 15 or 16. Major time period in someone's life, especially being in hiding and not being able to live fully the way that teenagers normally do. All right, so that was the background information. Keep an eye out for your gallery walk assignment with even more background information.